I transmigrated into a novel and became the ultimate cannon fodder in a wealthy family's abusive romance. The moment I opened my eyes, the luxurious scenery of a CEO's office came into view. Before I could take a closer look, a document was slammed heavily onto the smooth desk with a thud. "Sign," a voice commanded. I looked up and saw a delicately made-up face, now contorted with impatience. Victoria Sterling, the Sterling family's adopted daughter, my nominal sister. Behind her stood two expressionless burly bodyguards, exuding a menacing aura. Above my field of vision, a semi-transparent barrage of comments began to actively scroll. Here it comes. The classic scene. The male lead sacrifices his family's business to help brother Derek. Sister Victoria is so cool. Her aura is amazing. The male lead should sign already. Why is he dragging his feet? It's just a resort. What's wrong with helping a friend? What are you spacing out about? Victoria knocked hard on the table, the diamonds on her nails dazzling. Derek is waiting for this agreement for financing. Time is of the essence. Sign it quickly. Watching the scene before me, the original plot began to surface in my mind. I, Marcus Sterling, was the sole heir to the Sterling Group. But I would be betrayed by this good sister in front of me and Derek Yates, the object of her affection. Today, this City East Resort Project Equity Transfer Agreement was the beginning of all the tragedy. A core project worth $1 billion would be handed over, allowing Derek to take off. The Sterling family would go bankrupt a year later. My parents would be driven to death, and I would eventually be sent to a mental hospital to live out my remaining days. I lowered my eyes, my gaze falling on the glaring, bolded words, equity transfer. My fingertips lightly brushed the edge of the paper. Victoria, I raised my head, my voice calm and without a trace of emotion. How much salary do you earn at the Sterling Group each month? She was obviously taken aback. Then, as if insulted, her tone suddenly rose. Marcus, why are you asking this? I'm talking to you about serious business as your sister. Sister. I chuckled lightly, picked up the agreement, and waved it in my hand. An adopted daughter with an annual salary of only $3 million. Where do you get the audacity to use such a commanding tone towards the sole heir of the Sterling Group, the legitimate master of assets worth tens of billions? The barrage of comments instantly exploded. Holy crap. Did the male lead take the wrong medicine today? Adopted daughter. So she's not actually related. $3 million a year and she's still not satisfied. Judging by that tone, I thought she was the owner of the group. Victoria's face flushed visibly, and her breathing became rapid. You. Marcus, you're being completely unreasonable. Derek needs this opportunity. He's very talented. He just lacks a platform. Our Sterling family is so big and prosperous. Isn't it natural to help him? Can't you be a little kinder? A little more generous? Kind. Generous. I stood up abruptly, grabbed the agreement, and slammed it onto the table in front of her, making a loud bang. Use a project that cost my Sterling family a real $1 billion to showcase your cheap kindness, Victoria, to set off the illusory talent of your lover. I took a step closer, almost able to see the pupils contracting in shock. Your kindness is really damn expensive. The barrage went crazy. Huh. Good for him. Scold her. $1 billion. She makes it sound so easy. Did the male lead poison his mouth? So sharp. What nonsense are you talking about? Victoria completely lost it, screaming and raising her hand to slap my face. The motion was so practiced that it was obviously not the first time. But she didn't know that the person standing in front of her now was no longer the foolish younger brother who listened to her every word. I accurately grabbed her wrist, the force so great that she cried out in pain. Then, under everyone's incredulous gazes, I swung my right arm out. Smack. An ear-splittingly clear slap landed squarely on her fair cheek. The force was unreserved, and Victoria staggered a few steps, falling to the ground with a thud. Her carefully styled hair was disheveled, one side of her face quickly swelling, the clear imprint of 5 fingers shocking to the eye. The barrage reached a nuclear explosion of excitement. A slap. It's a slap. The female lead's conceptual god-level skill actually appeared in the male lead's hands. Wow. Knocked her down. He really knocked her down. The sound was so crisp. I can feel the pain in my face, even through the screen. Sister is stunned. Look at her expression. I'm dying of laughter. The two bodyguards instinctively wanted to move, but I swept them with an icy glance containing an undeniable majesty. If anyone dares to move today, I'll make sure their entire family can't survive in this city anymore. The bodyguards froze in place, silent as cicadas in winter. Victoria covered her face, looked up, and her eyes were filled with shock, humiliation, and disbelief. You actually dare to hit me? I stopped looking at her, bent down to pick up the agreement scattered on the ground, and under her terrified gaze, used both hands forcefully. Shred. The billion-dollar agreement was slowly and methodically torn into pieces by me. With a wave of my hand, the snow-white paper scraps fell fluttering, scattering on her head, on her body, an extreme insult. This slap is on behalf of the ancestors of the Sterling family, I stood condescendingly, my eyes looking down on her. Something that bites the hand that feeds it. How dare you give orders here? The barrage went wild. Tore it. $1 billion just torn up like that. Sprinkling paper scraps. Killing intent to the extreme. So insulting, but I love watching it. He even brought out the ancestors. The male lead is awesome. I pressed the internal call button on my desk, my tone returning to cold indifference. Secretary Hayes, bring people in. The office door opened in response, and my chief secretary, Leonard Hayes, led 6 bodyguards in black suits into the room in single file, clearly having been waiting on standby for a long time. President Sterling, I pointed at Victoria, who was still slumped on the ground in a disheveled state, my voice devoid of emotion. Notify the group's HR department and the board of directors. Effective immediately, remove Victoria Sterling from all positions in the group and all its subsidiaries. Simultaneously freeze all bank accounts, credit cards, and equity dividend rights under her name. Without my personal signature, she is not authorized to move a single cent of the Sterling family's money. Yes, President Sterling, Leonard executed the order without hesitation. In addition, I paused and added, organize the evidence of her embezzlement of public funds and leaking of the group's trade secrets to Derek by taking advantage of her position over the years, and send it immediately to all members of the board of directors and report it to the police. At the same time, Victoria's face turned as pale as paper in an instant, and her lips trembled. How did you know? When did you? The comments section exploded again. Holy crap, there's evidence. So the sister was the mole. Embezzlement, corporate espionage. This drama is getting bigger and bigger. Twist after twist. The male lead is hiding things so well. I bent down and picked up a piece of shredded paper with my fingertips, gently patting her swollen face. The movement was gentle but extremely humiliating. Did you really think that the sordid things you and that gigolo of yours did could escape scrutiny? Just then, my phone rang, the word "father" flashing on the screen. I pressed the hands-free button directly, letting that furious voice echo in the silent office. Marcus, you scoundrel. Have you gone mad? Apologize to your sister immediately. My father's voice trembled with anger. Victoria seized on this as her last lifeline and cried out shrilly. Dad. Marcus hit me. He's trying to kick me out of the company. He's gone crazy. I spoke into the phone, my tone calm but icily cutting. Chairman Sterling, before issuing orders, I suggest you check your email. Take a good look at how your kind and sensible adopted daughter has been emptying the Sterling family to feed her lover over the years. The other end of the line fell into a deathly silence. After a few seconds, my father's voice sounded, filled with unbelievable panic, his bluster completely gone. These transfer records. These confidential documents. Are they all real? Black and white, clear as day, I sneered. She wanted to give away a project worth $1 billion. And she dared to leak the company's core secrets. Chairman Sterling, tell me, did I deserve to slap her? Did I deserve to suspend her? The comment section was dumbfounded. He even dares to retort to his dad like that. The chairman chickened out instantly. The evidence is too powerful. So Dad was kept in the dark all along. I didn't waste any more words and hung up the phone directly, waving my hand to the bodyguards beside me. Drag her out. From today onwards, she is not allowed to set foot in the Sterling Group building again. Notify all security departments to stop her immediately if they see her. Yes, President Sterling. 2 bodyguards lifted Victoria from the ground, and she struggled desperately, screaming hysterically. Marcus, you can't do this to me. Derek won't let you get away with this. He will make you pay. Derek. I curled my lips in disdain, as if hearing the funniest joke in the world. Let him come. I'd like to see what price a useless piece of trash who only knows how to hide behind women and rely on eating soft rice can make me pay. The comment section cheered. Awesome. This is so satisfying. The male lead is so domineering. This is what a real heir to a wealthy family should be like. Soft rice king. He's been accurately described. I'm already looking forward to Derek showing up and getting beaten. The office door closed, finally restoring the quiet. Secretary Hayes respectfully handed over a tablet computer. President Sterling, this is the latest news. Derek's Starlight technology is urgently seeking Round B financing, and it seems that there are problems with its cash flow. I glanced at the data on the screen, the corners of my lips curving into a cold arc. Notify all executives in the investment department and legal department to hold a meeting in the first conference room in half an hour. I want to make Derek understand that in the face of true capital power, his broken company built on the backs of women is not even as significant as an annoying ant. The comment section was completely boiling. Here it comes. The business war is about to begin. Meeting in half an hour. The male lead's efficiency is unmatched. Crush him like crushing an ant. I've already got my little bench ready. I turned around and walked towards the huge floor-to-ceiling windows, overlooking the prosperous and cold city beneath my feet. Buildings like forests, traffic like weaving, all under my feet. Derek, your backer I've already taken down. Next, it's your turn. Your good days are over. I had just finished dealing with Victoria when the office door was violently pushed open. Sandra Wells, stopping in on 10-centimeter heels, stormed in with Derek following behind her, looking like a victim. Marcus, are you even human? Sandra pointed at my nose and cursed. Victoria's been so good to you, and you actually hit her. The comments section instantly exploded. Here it comes. The White Lotus flower is here with her keptman. Classic moral blackmail situation. The female lead's accusatory stance makes you think she's the real wife. Derek feigned concern, advising, Sandra, don't be like this. Marcus might have just acted impulsively. Impulsively. Sandra's voice was shrill. He even sent Victoria to the police station. He clearly wants to completely destroy her. I leisurely turned on the computer and pulled up a file. Sandra, where were you at 10 o'clock on the night of the 15th of last month? She paused, her eyes flickering. Why are you asking this? I was at home sleeping. Is that so? I clicked on a surveillance video. Then who is this person hugging and kissing Derek downstairs at his apartment building? The comments exploded again. Scandalous. Confirmed. The fiancée is cheating. I knew she was so protective of Derek for a reason. Sandra's face turned pale instantly. You're spying on me? Spying. I sneered. This video was taken by the public surveillance cameras in the hallway of your dear Derek's apartment building. I then opened an email record. And this. Last quarter, you leaked Sterling Corporation's bidding price to Derek, didn't you? I didn't. She took a step back in a panic. Do you need me to read out the original text of the email you sent to Derek? I stared into her eyes. I saw Marcus's bid documents. The bottom price is $3.7 billion. Bid $3.65 billion and you'll win. The comment section was in an uproar. Holy crap. Insider trading confirmed. Such a treacherous thing. Using her fiancé's money to support a gigolo. Derek hurriedly stepped forward. Marcus, this is all a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. I suddenly stood up and turned the computer toward them. Do you need me to play the recording of you teaching Sandra how to extract Sterling Corporation secrets? The office was instantly silent. Sandra trembled all over, her lips quivering, unable to speak. I walked up to her, my voice icy cold. Kneel. She looked up in shock. What did you say? I said, kneel. I enunciated each word. Kneel and apologize for your treachery and your betrayal of the Sterling family. The comment section reached a fever pitch. Force her to kneel. The male lead is too ruthless. I love it. This kind of woman deserves to kneel. Derek tried to stop me but was held back by the bodyguard behind me. Marcus, don't go too far. Sandra screamed. I raised my hand and glanced at the time. I'll give you 3 seconds to consider. Either kneel and apologize, or I'll bankrupt the Wells family today. 3. She bit her lip, her eyes filled with resentment. 2. Her legs began to tremble. 1. I'll kneel. She shrieked, collapsing to her knees with a thud, tears streaming down her face. I was wrong. I shouldn't have leaked the secrets. The comment section went wild. She kneeled. She actually kneeled. So satisfying to watch. They should have been dealt with like this a long time ago. I looked down at her condescendingly. From this moment on, the engagement is terminated. You, Sandra Wells, have nothing to do with the Sterling family anymore. She looked up sharply. You can't. Furthermore, I interrupted her, Sterling Corporation's legal department will sue you for commercial espionage. Prepare to be bankrupted with compensation. I pressed the call button. Secretary Hayes, inform everyone to completely terminate all cooperation with the Wells Group. At the same time, short the Wells Group stock. Sandra slumped to the ground, her face ashen. Derek struggled, shouting, Marcus, do you have to be so heartless? I walked up to him and grabbed his collar. Kepman, don't be in a hurry. You're next. With that, I waved my hand at the bodyguards. Throw these 2 dogs out. The comment section erupted with cheers. Awesome. A series of attacks. The male lead's efficiency is amazing. I wonder what Derek's psychological trauma is like. After the office returned to silence, Secretary Hayes walked in briskly. President Sterling, we have started taking action as you instructed. The Wells Group stock price is plummeting. I nodded. Continue to suppress it. I want the Wells Group to go bankrupt within 3 days. My phone rang. It was Sandra's father calling. I hung up directly and turned off the phone. The comment section praised. He didn't even answer his father-in-law's call. This is a true big shot. The consequences of offending the male lead are too terrible. Watching the 2 people being escorted out of the building by the bodyguards on the surveillance screen, I smiled coldly. Derek, all of your shields I've broken off one by one. Next, it's your turn. Victoria being sent to the police station and Sandra kneeling and begging for mercy spread through the entire high society circle like a virus. I sat in the CEO's office, watching the security footage of Derek's black Mercedes parked outside Sterling Corporation's building for a full 20 minutes before slinking away. The comments excitedly scrolled across the screen. Derek's panicking, right? With his right and left arms chopped off, how could he not be? The male lead acted so fast, and it's only been half a day. Secretary Hayes knocked on the door and entered, her expression solemn. CEO Sterling, Shannon Burke from the security department has been asking about your itinerary today. Shannon Burke, the traitorous female bodyguard from the original novel, The Nail Derek drove in next to me the longest. I sneered. Leak my itinerary to the development zone tomorrow to her, and say I'll be going alone. That's too dangerous. Secretary Hayes hurriedly tried to dissuade me. Dangerous. I twirled the pen in my hand. I want to see what tricks Derek can pull off. The comments started to boil over. It's a trap. The male lead is trying to lure the snake out of its hole. Shannon's done for. I knew that female bodyguard was suspicious. The next morning, I deliberately drove to the development zone alone. Sure enough, a motorcycle quickly appeared in the rearview mirror, tailing me. The rider was dressed in black with a lithe figure. It was Shannon. I deliberately drove the car onto a secluded road. Just as I stopped the car, pretending to check the map, Shannon's motorcycle slammed in front of my car. She nimbly jumped off the bike, her black tactical suit outlining her trim figure. CEO Sterling, what a coincidence, she said. I leaned against the car door, looking at her with a half-smile. It's no coincidence. I've been waiting for you. Her expression changed slightly, and her right hand subconsciously went to her waist. Just then, 4 black SUVs sped in from the front and back, instantly surrounding us. 8 professional bodyguards in special operations uniforms jumped out of the cars. These were my true confidants. Search, I ordered indifferently. 2 bodyguards stepped forward to restrain Shannon and search her body, finding a miniature camera, recording equipment, and a syringe disguised as lipstick. The comments exploded. Caught red-handed. And weapons. She was going for the kill. Derek's too ruthless. I picked up the syringe and waved it in front of her eyes. Derek told you to use this on me. Shannon bit her lip tightly, saying nothing. Take her back to the company. I turned and got in the bodyguard's car. Notify all executives. Hold an all-hands meeting in 1 hour. An hour later, the largest conference room in Sterling Corporation was packed with people. I had Shannon escorted onto the stage, and in front of all the executives, pulled up all the evidence of her crimes over the years. Last March, you leaked the company's security deployment map to Derek. Last August, you altered my father's itinerary, causing the car accident. Last month, you stole confidential documents from the R&D department. Each count brought a gasp from below the stage. The comments were rolling furiously. She's not a bodyguard. She's a professional spy. Thinking about it, it's terrifying. CEO Sterling actually survived. Derek's trying to completely destroy the Sterling family. I walked in front of Shannon and raised my hand, delivering a slap to her face. This slap is for your ingratitude. The Sterling family provided you with food and clothing and nurtured your talent. This is how you repay us. I landed another slap with my other hand. This slap is for your betrayal, taking the Sterling family salary and doing things to harm the Sterling family. The comments reached a climax. Double slaps. So satisfying. The male lead's got a lot of strength. Her face is swollen. This kind of traitor should be beaten to death. Shannon finally broke down and cried. I was wrong. You forced me. Forced you. I sneered. Do I need to play the recording of you actively throwing yourself into Derek's arms? A video began to play on the conference room's big screen, showing Shannon kissing Derek in his apartment. The whole room was in an uproar. Call the police, I ordered the head of security. Charge her with industrial espionage and attempted assault. The comments were all cheers. Call the police. Let her rot in jail. Derek's completely alone now. The male lead's cleanup was too thorough. Just as the police were about to put handcuffs on Shannon, she suddenly broke free and rushed towards me. Marcus, I'm going to fight you. I dodged to the side and executed a clean over-the-shoulder throw, sending her crashing to the ground. My knee pressed firmly against her back. Forgot to tell you, I whispered in her ear, leaning over her. When I was in Special Forces training, you were still being Derek's lapdog. The comments went completely crazy. Holy crap. The male lead knows how to fight. That over-the-shoulder throw was so cool. He's hiding a lot. The police dragged the still struggling Shannon away. I straightened my suit and faced all the executives. Effective immediately, the group's security department will be completely reorganized. All personnel will undergo background checks, and anyone with problems, get out. After the meeting, Secretary Hayes brought the latest news. CEO Sterling, Derek's Starlight Technology just announced that its financing has failed, and its stock price has plummeted by 30%. I looked out the window. Derek's Mercedes was still parked on a street corner. Pass a message to him, I said coldly. Tell him the game has only just begun. The comments were full of anticipation. Derek's going to jump the shark. With the male lead's efficiency, Derek probably won't survive 3 days. Inside the Emperor Hotel's top-floor banquet hall, the city's elite gathered. Derek stood at the center of the hall, clad in a handcrafted suit worth millions, a limited edition watch on his wrist glittering under the lights. He faced dozens of media cameras, a perfectly calibrated expression of sorrow on his face. Thank you all for attending my birthday banquet today, he said, his voice low and tinged with emotion. Recent events have caused me deep pain. I've always believed in the importance of kindness, but reality often disappoints. He paused deliberately, allowing the reporters to frantically capture his fragile state. The live chat erupted. Ugh, this acting is more over the top than professional actors. Here he goes again, playing the victim. Always the same routine. Zoom in on the camera. I want to see him cry later. Just then, the banquet hall's heavy carved doors swung open with a resounding crash. I strode in, leading a 12-person professional team. 6 black-suited bodyguards cleared the way in front, lawyers carried sealed document cases, and 2 technicians wheeled in state-of-the-art projection equipment. Our group's imposing presence instantly drew everyone's attention. The spotlights immediately shifted from Derek, and all cameras focused on me. Looks like I'm right on time, I said, striding purposefully towards the main stage, each step steady and powerful. Mr. Yates seems to enjoy acting so much. How about I help you create an even bigger stage? Let the whole city see your true face. Derek's face paled instantly, but he quickly forced a look of composure. Marcus, this is my private banquet. You're not welcome here. Security, get them out. Several hotel security guards hesitated before stepping forward, but a single glare from my bodyguards deterred them. I snatched the microphone from the host, my voice amplified by the top-of-the-line sound system and echoing throughout the banquet hall. Don't worry, I'm here today to give Mr. Yates a birthday gift he'll never forget. I signaled the technicians to connect the equipment. The enormous LED screen at the front of the banquet hall lit up, revealing Derek's panicked face. First, please enjoy a fascinating recording. Derek's clear voice immediately filled the room. Victoria, that idiot Marcus is so easy to manipulate. Just butter him up and get your hands on the resort project as soon as possible. Once it's done, I guarantee you'll be Mrs. Yates. We have to get our hands on Sterling Corporation's tender price. If necessary, sleep with that old geezer. After it's done, I'll marry you in style. Shannon, find a chance to slip Marcus some drugs. Create an accident. Yes, use the kind of nerve toxin that can't be detected. The live chat exploded. Proof. All proof. Inciting murder. That's a criminal offense. So malicious. He even thought of using poison. These 3 women are so stupid. Being sold out and still counting the money for him. A wave of commotion swept through the room. Guests exchanged shocked glances, and some socialites disgustedly put down their wine glasses. Derek frantically tried to rush forward and grab the microphone, but my bodyguards pinned him down with a swift takedown. Don't worry, the show's not over yet, I said coldly, switching the screen. Here's the flow of funds that Derek systematically transferred from Sterling Corporation through 12 shell companies registered in the Virgin Islands, totaling $870 million. Each transaction was carefully disguised, but none escaped the eyes of professional auditors. The screen displayed dense transaction records, red arrows highlighting the flow of funds. The complex ownership structure diagrams caused the assembled entrepreneurs to gasp. And these, I continued, displaying the next set of evidence, the forged contracts he personally signed, the meticulously crafted false reports, and his masterpiece, bribing a private doctor to prepare a plan to inject me with nerve toxin, complete with dosage and injection points. The live chat went wild. Poison. That's attempted murder. Heartless. He should be sentenced to death. This evidence is so complete. Derek is completely finished. How did the male lead get all of this? He's too powerful. Derek completely lost control, roaring as he lunged at me. Marcus, I'm going to kill you. I'll fight you to the death. A bodyguard's swift side kick sent him crashing to the ground. He curled up in pain on the red carpet, his expensive suit stained with wine, all traces of his former elegance gone. I slowly walked up to him, looking down on him from above. Soft Rice King, is this evidence enough to get you a life sentence? Just then, the banquet hall doors opened again, and a team of uniformed police officers strode in, led by the captain of the Economic Crimes Division. Mr. Derek Yates, you're under arrest for 7 charges, including embezzlement, commercial fraud, and attempted incitement to murder. The live chat erupted in celebration. Arrest. Arrested on the spot. So satisfying. This scene is too good. I could replay this 100 times. The police arrived at the perfect time. As the handcuffs clicked shut on Derek's wrists, he suddenly began to laugh maniacally. "Marcus, you think you've won? Let me tell you, the people behind me won't let you get away with this. Their influence overseas." I leaned down and whispered in his ear in a voice only we could hear. "Are you talking about the owner of your secret Swiss bank account? Sorry, all of his assets were frozen by Interpol yesterday. By the way, he's drinking tea in a prison on some island nation." Derek's expression froze, and for the first time, genuine fear and despair appeared in his eyes. The live chat marveled. There's a mastermind behind him. The male lead even found that out. He cast such a wide net. A clean sweep, so powerful. This revenge is perfect. I stood up and raised my glass to the assembled guests. Thank you all for witnessing this important moment. From today on, Sterling Corporation will begin a new chapter. This is the fate of anyone who tries to harm the Sterling family's interests. Amid the frantic flashing of cameras, I watched Derek being dragged away by the police like a dead dog. The reporters swarmed him, broadcasting his most humiliating moment live across the internet. The live chat erupted in unison. Live broadcast. Social death. This is true disgrace. Congratulations to the male lead for removing this cancer. Tonight's trending topic is secured. That night, hashtags exploded on the trending searches, hashtag Derek Yates arrested, hashtag Century Scumbag, hashtag Sterling Group, and other topics. Sterling Group stock price soared by 15%, with a single-day market value increase of nearly $10 billion. I stood in front of the office's floor-to-ceiling window, looking at the city's dazzling night view. Emily Lewis brought the latest report. President Sterling, all assets under Derek's name have been fully frozen, and Starlight Technology has officially declared bankruptcy. In addition, the Swiss bank has just confirmed that all of Derek's overseas accounts have been seized. I gently swirled the glass of red wine, the deep red liquid rippling within. Notify the legal department. I want to ensure he never leaves prison for the rest of his life. At the same time, prepare the materials. I want him to spit out everything he swallowed, with interest. The comment section was full of anticipation. Waiting for Derek to be sentenced to life imprisonment. The male lead's revenge drama is too exciting. Need a sequel. I want to see Derek picking up soap in prison. 3 months later, reporters packed the entrance of City Supreme Court. Today was the day for the first trial verdict of Derek's case. I sat in the plaintiff's seat, watching the men in the defendant's seat wearing a prison uniform with a haggard face. The online comments had already been heating up early. Finally, this day has arrived. Almost didn't recognize Derek like this. Looking forward to the verdict. The judge's solemn voice echoed in the courtroom. Defendant Derek Yates, found guilty of embezzlement, commercial espionage, and incitement to attempted murder. Multiple crimes combined, sentenced to life imprisonment, deprived of political rights for life, and all personal property confiscated. The moment the gavel fell, Derek collapsed on the spot, and the bailiff had to drag him out of the courtroom. As he passed by me, he suddenly roared. "Marcus, I won't let you go, even as a ghost." I slowly stood up, adjusting my suit cuffs, and looked down at him. "When you become a ghost, remember to come find me. I'll let you know what it means to not even be able to become a ghost." Online comments erupted in laughter. Ha! Killing and punishing a heart. Being abused even as a ghost. So pathetic. This guy's mouth is amazing. That afternoon, I went to a mental hospital in the suburbs. Through the observation window, I saw Victoria wearing a hospital gown, hugging a worn-out rag doll, constantly muttering to herself. "Derek will come to save me. He will marry me." The attending doctor reported to me. The patient suffered a strong stimulus and is completely living in her own world. Every day, besides hugging that doll, she just stares blankly at the window. I put down a file bag. This is all the property she obtained from the Sterling family over the years, and it has all been recovered. As for treatment costs, I glanced at the ward, just let her spend the rest of her life here. Online comments sighed. If only she knew this earlier, why did she bother? She made herself like this for a scumbag. This is the end result of being a love brain. Leaving the mental hospital, Secretary Hayes handed me a tablet. President Sterling, Wells Group officially declared bankruptcy yesterday. Sandra and her father tried to leave the country last night and were surrounded by creditors at the airport. They are now hiding in a rental house in an urban village. The screen showed Sandra's latest photo. The once glamorous heiress was now wearing cheap clothes, arguing with vendors in a vegetable market over a few cents. Anonymously send their situation to the media, I said faintly. Let them also taste the feeling of being ridiculed by the entire internet. Online comments praised. They deserve it. This is the end result of being a commercial spy. Thinking about how arrogant she was back then, it's so satisfying. The convoy drove back to the city, and I asked the car to stop briefly when it passed the women's prison. It was recreation time. Through the wire fence, I saw Shannon wearing a prison uniform, mechanically walking circles in the exercise yard. The once valiant female bodyguard now had empty eyes and faltering steps. The prison guard recognized me and came forward to report. She has been very silent since entering prison. Last month, she attempted suicide but failed. Now, besides necessary activities, she just sits alone. I nodded slightly. Keep an eye on her. Don't let her die. She has to pay the price for what she did. Online comments were filled with emotion. Everyone is a villain. Everyone is a tragedy. Although pitiful, they brought it upon themselves. This guy's revenge is so thorough. Back at Sterling Group headquarters, all the employees lined up to greet me. I walked straight into the top-floor conference room, and the entire board of directors stood up. Effective immediately, I am officially taking over as chairman of Sterling Group. I placed the letter of authorization on the conference table. Now, let's proceed with the first agenda item, restructuring the board of directors. I read out 7 names. The above directors, please leave immediately. I have compiled a list of your dealings with Derek and handed it over to the Economic Investigation Department. The directors who were named were ashen-faced and were escorted away in a mess by bodyguards. Online comments were thrilled. Swift and decisive. This is a complete purge. He even cleaned up the board of directors. Second agenda item. I pulled up a global map. Sterling Group will undergo strategic adjustments. First step, fully acquire Derek's bankrupt Starlight Technology, dismantle and reorganize it. Second step, acquire Wells Group's remaining assets at a 10% premium. Third step, my finger landed on the location of the International Financial Center, enter the overseas market. We have reached cooperation agreements with 3 international investment banks and will establish a branch in New York next month. The conference room erupted in enthusiastic applause. Online comments were amazed. The scope has suddenly expanded. It's turned from a revenge drama into a business war epic. This guy is going to dominate the world. That evening, I accepted an exclusive interview with a financial channel. The host asked, President Sterling, after this storm, what new understanding do you have of the business world? I looked at the camera and said in a calm tone, the business world has always been a jungle. I leaned forward slightly. But what I want to say is, anyone who treats the Sterling family as an easy target will pay the price. Just then, there was a commotion outside the live broadcast room. A staff member awkwardly explained, it's Sandra. She insists on seeing you. I turned to the staff member and said lightly, tell her to get lost. After the interview, I stood on the top floor of Sterling Group's newly built global headquarters. It was the tallest building in the city, and the entire city was shining beneath my feet. Secretary Hayes brought the latest report. President Sterling, the group's market value has increased by 200% this month and has entered the top 100 global companies. I took the report, my eyes glancing over the myriad lights of the city outside the window. Notify the heads of all departments. Meeting at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. What we will be discussing is the global strategic layout for the next 10 years. Online comments were filled with anticipation. This is what you call a king's demeanor. From revenge to domination, this plot is perfect. Looking forward to the guy conquering the world. As the night deepened, I stood alone in front of the floor-to-ceiling window, holding a recently received confidential document in my hand, a letter of thanks from Interpol, thanking me for providing the clues that helped them crack a transnational economic crime group. After shredding the letter, I raised my glass to the brilliant city night view. The old era has ended. The new era has just begun.